At 80, Pete Townshend names 4 guitarists he hated the most. At 80 years old, Pete Townshend remains a towering figure in rock history. As the creative force behind The Who, one of the most iconic bands of the 60s and 70s, Townshend helped redefine what rock could be. His groundbreaking guitar work didn't just make waves in his own time, it laid the foundation for generations of alternative rock, punk, and metal artists to come. But while his contributions are legendary, Townshend has always been known for more than just his music. Over the years, he's built a reputation for his sharp tongue and brutally honest opinions, especially when it comes to his peers. Despite reaching the top of the rock world, Townshend often seemed unimpressed by the company he kept. Love him or hate him, one thing's clear: Pete Townshend didn't just shape rock music. Many of the artists he's criticized were either wildly popular or immensely talented, traits Townshend sometimes admitted he struggled to live up to. Kurt Cobain. When Kurt Cobain scribbled the line, "I hope I die before I become Pete Townshend," in his journal, he probably didn't expect the rock legend himself to fire back years later. The quote, a twist on The Who's iconic lyric, "I hope I die before I get old," didn't sit well with Townshend, especially coming from someone he once admired. After Cobain's journals were published, Townshend didn't hold back in his review for The Observer. "I mourn little Kurt," he wrote. "Once beautiful, then pathetic, lost and heroically stupid boy. Hard rock indeed." Townshend didn't stop there. He criticized Cobain's writings, describing them as the scribblings of a crazed and depressed drug addict, and likened them to what people in recovery call stinking thinking. Les Paul. When it comes to guitar heroes, most would assume Pete Townshend had nothing but admiration for legends like Les Paul. But in reality, Les Paul's flashy style was exactly what Townshend wanted to avoid. Even though Les Paul was a pioneer in guitar design and a technical genius on the instrument, his signature sound, especially the polished, virtuosic playing alongside Mary Ford, never sat right with Townshend. "I used to listen to people like Kenny Burrell, Wes Montgomery, and Chet Atkins," he once said. Clear thinkers. But Les Paul? "I hated Les Paul. I've never liked flash playing, really." For Townshend, it wasn't about speed or showy solos. He didn't mind theatrical performers or over-the-top stage acts, but when it came to guitar playing, he valued intention over flash. "I wouldn't even attempt to try and approach that," he said, "and I think it's impetuous of people to imagine they can think that fast." Jimi Hendrix. One figure who's always loomed large in Pete Townshend's rock and roll journey is none other than Jimi Hendrix. As one of the most electrifying guitarists in history, Hendrix was a force to be reckoned with, and Townshend, never one to back down from competition, wasn't about to give up any ground. Their paths famously collided at the Monterey Pop Festival in 1967. The tension? Who would play first? Neither artist wanted to follow the other's explosive performance, and both knew going second meant facing an almost impossible act to top. Rumor has it the two legends jammed backstage to sort it out, but according to Townshend, that version's a bit romanticized. In his words, "I've heard Roger call it a jam session, but it wasn't. It was just Jimmy sitting in a chair, playing at me, like, don't mess with me." In the end, it came down to a coin toss, rock and roll diplomacy at its finest. Years later, Townshend admitted that Hendrix didn't just match The Who's energy, he elevated it, possibly leaving behind a mix of admiration and resentment. Their rivalry wasn't built on hatred, but on the intensity of two icons pushing the limits of what rock could be. Jimmy Page. Jimmy Page once played rhythm guitar on The Who's very first single, but that early connection didn't stop Pete Townshend from throwing some serious shade his way later on. Townshend has openly accused Led Zeppelin of ripping off The Who's sound. Like many artists, he's fiercely protective of his work, and that might explain why he's been so critical of Zeppelin over the years. His take on the band? Brutally harsh. He's made it clear he can't stand being lumped into the same conversation as Zeppelin, once saying, "I don't like a single thing that they've done. I hate the fact that I'm ever even slightly compared to them." And yet, there was a time when Townshend actually admired Page. "I first saw Jimmy Page when I was about 14 or 15, he recalled. "He was already in a professional band while I was still in school." But admiration quickly gave way to critique, with Townshend later calling Page arrogant and flashy.